Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathannitam Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitangscha. Oh my God.
Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Tara Satashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Tara Satashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Jai Shri Navadip Dham Parikrama Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Okay. So today we're beginning our fourth day of Parikrama. This is the last day of Parikrama. And here in Sokel tomorrow we'll be celebrating Gaur Purnima. So actually this is also the Adibas of Shri Gaur Purnima. So now we'll start. The Parikrama begins early in the morning from the Samadhi of Srila Guru Maharaj. So we'll start here. Here's the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, situated in beautiful Navadip near the Ganga. Here's the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Here's their Lordship Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundarju, the deities at the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, worshipable deities established by Guru Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj and worshipped by Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And now the Mat under the direction of Srila Acharya Maharaj. These are our deities here in Sokel, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhariju. And this is the deities as they appear today. These are the clothes on the deities. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Govinda Maharaj now waiting for the devotees who will meet him at the Samadhi. Jai Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj. He will lead the devotees on the Parikrama. Devotees are gathering in front of Srila Govinda Maharaj's Samadhi. And
is anybody using Wi-Fi? We're not getting very good signal.
if anyone's using Wi-Fi, please turn it off. Okay. You getting a signal now?
No, that's good.
Okay. They're offering their dandavats. Everyone's offering their dandavats at the Srila Govinda Maharaj's at his room. And here they're proceeding. And now leaving from the front gate.
Jai Maharaj ki Jai.
Nilamani Prabhu ki Jai. So, devotees are continuing. And the devotees are now going towards Samudragar. That will be the first place. We have to leave some space for trucks and buses to pass. There's Pitamar. There's Uma also. Uma's there. There's Avadut Maharaj. Now, there's one place where we're going where the town people come out and they bring out a tulsi with them, and they would always have Aranya Maharaj sit down there, worship the tulsi, and then offer prasadam, which would be distributed to all the villagers. That prasadam is like those, like sugar wafers that they distribute to everyone.
Are they in the street there, Maharaj?
Yeah, they're on the street. Little to the side of the street. Now this is coming to the first place, which is Samudragar. We're in the middle in Samudragar. Usually we're in the middle of a field, like there's a grass field there, and then there's a small place here, which you'll see a stage where we can sit down and read about from the Navadip Dham Mahatmya about Samudragar. I'm going to read here about Samudragar, so that this is our first stop. This is the story of the king Samudra Sen. Nityananda Prabhu went ahead and then said, "See here, Samudragar. O best of the wise, see how both Dwarkapuri and O best of the wise, see here both Dwarkapuri and Sri Gangasagar. Sri Samudra Sen was king here. He was a great devotee of Krishna. He knew nothing but Krishna. When Bhimasen came here with his army to conquer Bengal, he surrounded Samudragar. So Bhimasen came because they were going to do the Rajasuya sacrifice. And in the Rajasuya sacrifice, everyone had to agree to accept Yudhishthira as the kings. And they had to, they showed that they agreed by giving some tribute to some riches to that were collected. That's called Digvijay. And Bhimasen, he came to Bengal to collect for the installation of Yudhishthira. The king knew Krishna was the Pandavas' only shelter, and that if the Pandavas faced danger, Krishna would come. If I can cause Bhima to show that he is afraid, Krishna will feel compassion in response to his cries of distress. Then Krishna will compassionately come to this servant's land, and I will easily see his dark form with my eyes. Thinking thus, the king prepared his army. Taking his elephants, horses, and foot soldiers, he went to battle. Remembering Sri Krishna, the king fired arrows. Overwhelmed by the arrows, Bhima became extremely afraid. Seeing that he was in danger, Bhima called out to Krishna within his mind, "O Lord, protect Bhima with your holy feet. I cannot fight with Samudra Sen, but I also cannot tolerate the great shame of retreating. O Krishna, you are the Lord of the Pandavas. O merciful Lord, if we are defeated, it will be a great shame." Hearing Bhima's sorrowful cry, Krishna mercifully appeared on the battlefield. An extraordinary event then took place. Sri Samudra Sen saw the Lord's form, but no one else did. The Lord's adolescent form was the color of a fresh rain cloud. A forest garland swung on his neck, and his crown shone. He had extremely beautiful ornaments on all his limbs, and his extraordinary body was clothed in yellow garments. Seeing Krishna's form, the king fainted out of divine love. He then steadied himself and prayed to the Lord. "O Krishna, you are the Lord of the universe and the Savior of the fallen. Having seen this fallen soul, you have come here. The souls of this world glorify your pastimes. The souls of this world glorify your pastimes. In hearing that, I desired to see you. My vow, however, O merciful Lord, was that you would appear in Navadip. I will see your enchanting form here, so that I do not have to leave Navadip. O merciful Lord, you have upheld my vow and appeared as Krishna in Navadip. Still, my very confidential desire is that you will appear before my eyes as Gauranga." The king suddenly saw before him the incomparably sweet forms and pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Krishna was tending cows and playing with his friends in Sri Kumudavan in the afternoon. Within a moment, these pastimes disappeared, and the king saw the form of Sri Gauranga filling his eyes. Immersed in grand Sankirtan, the Lord was dancing and chanting with his devotees. The Lord's extremely beautiful golden luster made the eyes of the king quiver and his heart palpitate intensely. Seeing the form of the Lord, the king considered himself fortunate. He then offered prayers at the Lord's feet. Eventually everything disappeared. The king became thoughtful and began to cry. Bhimasen did not see this miracle and thought that the king had suddenly become afraid to fight. Bhimasen showed his immense strength, and the king happily submitted his tribute. Bhimasen accepted the tribute and went elsewhere. Still now the whole world sings of Bhima as the conqueror of all directions. Does not know the glories of this place. The ocean came to the shelter of the Ganga here, and with the mood of a devotee served the feet of the Lord. The Ganga said, "O ocean, very soon my Lord will stay in a forest on your bank." The ocean said, "O goddess, listen to my words. The son of Sachi never leaves Navadip. Although he will stay on my bank for some time, he will remain invisibly in Navadip." The Vedas sing of the manifest and unmanifest pastimes of the Lord here in this eternal abode of Navadip. O beautiful goddess, I will stay here under your shelter and serve Sri Gauranga in Navadip. Saying this, the ocean stayed in Navadip, meditating on the eternal pastimes of Gauranga. So, this is that place, Samudrakar, and this is our first stop. This is considered part of Koladvip. So we continue. Now, let me see. There's Yudamanyu Seva Vikram Prabhu, Madhuchanda, and Parvat Maharaj. I think that year it was raining a little bit.
Not necessarily.
No, this was, yeah, it was.
2015 it was raining a lot here.
She has an umbrella.
I know, look at how he's
Okay, this is, now we've proceeded on. You can see we're left there at that place, leaving, and now going to Gaur Gadadhar temple. The temple, Gaur Gadadhar, deities of Dvija Vaninath. There's Gaur Gadadhar. These deities were worshipped during the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the same deities from different years. And this place is called Champahati. Because, and you'll hear the story of why the champak flowers that were growing there. So, these are champak flowers, you can see, and they grew so many, they're very fragrant. Yeah. Then we gather outside. We're still in the compound there, just to the side of the temple. And many of the devotees are sitting. They fill up the whole area, and they're hearing about the glories of Champahati. So we'll speak now about this place. Nityananda Prabhu then came to Champahata Gram and rested there in the home of Vaninath. In the afternoon, Nityananda toured through Champahata and said, O Jiva, listen. Previously, there was a beautiful champak forest here that was part of Kadiravan. Daily, Champakalata Saki would pick champak flowers here, string garlands, and serve Radha and Krishna. When Kali Yuga started, garland makers eagerly began to take the champak flowers from the forest. They established a market and resided here. They would take the flowers and sell them, and the villagers would buy them. So that's the name Champahati. It means the market of the champak flowers. As a result, this beautiful place was named Sri Champakhata, and people began to call it Champahati. When Lakshman Sen was the king of Nadia, Jayadev Goswami was one of his subjects in Navadip. The wise Jayadev built a cottage on the bank of Balal Dirghika and resided there with his wife Padmavati. While there, he wrote the Dashavatar Stotram, and this poem once came to the hand of Lakshman Sen. The king read the poem with great joy and then asked, "Who wrote this?" Govardhanacharya said to the king, "The great poet Jayadev wrote it." The king asked, "Where is this poet Jayadev?" Govardhan replied, "He lives in Navadip." Hearing this, the king secretly searched for Jayadev's home and then came there in the evening. The king entered the cottage in the dress of a Vaishnav. He bowed to Jayadev and sat on one side. Jayadev understood that this man was the king and that he had come to him as a beggar in the dress of a Vaishnava. Within a short time, the king introduced himself and requested Jayadev to go to his palace. Wise Jayadev was extremely detached, and he did not agree to go to the home of any materialist. Jayadev, the great devotee of Krishna, then said, "I will leave your province and go elsewhere. Association with materialists never results in good fortune, so I will cross the Ganga and go to Nilanchala," to Jagannath Puri. The king said, "O master, listen to my words. Please do not ever leave Navadip. Please be merciful to me and act in such a way that your words will come true and my desire will also be fulfilled. On the other side of the Ganga, there is a beautiful place known as Champahata. Please stay there for a couple of years. I will not go there according to my own desire. I will come to see your feet only when you desire it." Hearing the words of the king, the great poet immediately replied in agreement, "Although you are a materialist and this kingdom is yours, you are a devotee of Krishna and you have no material attachment. I called you a materialist to test you, but you heard this and tolerated it. I have now understood that you are a devotee of Krishna. You engage in material affairs but remain detached. I will stay in Champakata for some time, in secret, leaving your opulence behind you. You may come to see me." Through one of his ministers, the king happily had a house constructed in Champakata. The poet Jayadev stayed there for some time and served Sri Krishna according to the path of divine love. Padmavati Devi would bring loads of champak flowers, and Jayadev worshipped Krishna, the son of Nanda, with them. Jayadev offered worship with intense love, and eventually he saw Sri Krishna appear before him in a form the color of a champak flower. The Lord's beautiful golden luster was completely enchanting, and his extremely beautiful face belittled millions of moons. He had wavy hair, long arms, and a beautiful flower garland around his neck. His body illumined and the thatched hut of Jayadev. Seeing the form of Gauranga, Jayadev, the best of poets, fainted in divine love as tears streamed from his eyes. Seeing the Lord's form, Padmavati Devi fainted and fell to the ground. The Lord raised them both with his lotus hands and then mercifully spoke nectarian words. "You are both my highly exalted devotees, and I desired to reveal myself to you. Very soon I will take birth from the womb of Sachi Devi and Nadia. With all the devotees of all my previous avatars, I will distribute the wealth of divine love through Sri Krishna Kirtan. At the age of 24, I will take sannyas and then reside in Nilanchala. There, immersed in intense divine love, I will deeply relish your Sri Gita Govinda with my devotees. I'm telling you the truth. Your Gita Govinda is extremely dear to me. Navadip Dham is spiritual and supreme. I promise you that you will come here after leaving your body. For now, you too will go to Nilanchala. Serve Jagannath there, and you will attain the fruit of divine love." Saying this, Gaurachandra disappeared. In separation from the Lord, Jayadev and Padmavati fainted. Regaining consciousness, they began to cry profusely. Crying and crying, they offered prayers. Regaining consciousness, they began to cry profusely. Crying and crying, they offered prayers. "Alas, what a form we have seen! How will we now live in separation from him? Why did the Lord order us to leave Nadia? We understand that we must have made some offense here. Navadip Dham is spiritual and supreme, and our hearts are dismayed at the thought of leaving. It would be better to become an animal or a bird and remain here forever meditating on the Dham. We can give up our lives, but we cannot give up the Dham. Our attachment is so intense. O Lord, Shri Gauranga, be merciful and give us here and keep us here at your holy feet." While speaking in this way, they cried aloud, and then they heard a divine voice. "Go to Nilanchala, and do not be sad or unsteady at heart. I will tell you two things. Some time ago you both desired to stay in Nilachal for a few days. Jagannath has fulfilled this desire of yours, and he wants to see you. You two will please Jagannath. Again, leave your bodies and then reside in Navadip eternally. Upon hearing the divine voice, Jayadev and Padmavati immediately left, and after some time they turned and looked back at Navadip. They wept, and tears streamed from their eyes. Humbly they spoke to the residents of Navadip. Please be merciful to these two souls. Please forgive us for the offenses we have committed. They walked away, looking back again and again at the 8-petaled lotus of Navadip. They went ahead and eventually did not see Navadip anymore. Crying, they crossed outside the land of Goda. Some time later, they arrived in Nilachal and saw Jagannath with cheerful hearts. O Jiva, this is the place of Jayadev. The elders say that only this raised land is what remains of it. Seeing the place of Jayadev, Sri Jiva rolled on the ground and wept in divine love. Glory to the poet Jayadev, glory to Padmavati, glory to Sri Gita Govinda, glory to love for Krishna. O Lord, mercifully give me a drop of the ocean of divine love that Jayadev relished. Saying this, Jiva tumbled to the ground and rolled at the holy feet of Nityananda Prabhu. That night they stayed at the house of Vaninath, and he and his family served Nityananda Prabhu. This poor, fallen soul, whose aspiration is the shade of Nitai and Janava's feet, chants the glories of Nadia. So this is this place. Now there's also a story they tell when they come here about how Jayadev one day was writing, and he is writing in his poetry. He wrote that famous line that says that when Krishna when Krishna was with Radharani, he begged her forgiveness and touched her feet. And then he thought, oh, this is too much. I cannot write this. So then he went to take his bath in the ocean, and while he was gone, then Krishna came, and Krishna came disguised as Jayadev, and he came back, and then Jayadev had gone to take his bath, and Padmavati thought that now Jayadev would return, but it was Krishna. So she fed Krishna, and then Krishna said, "Where's that book I was writing?" And then Padmavati gave him the book, and he wrote that same line that Jayadev was reluctant to write about how Krishna touched the feet of Srimati Radharani and asked for her forgiveness. Then Jayadev came home, and when he came home, Padmavati was eating, and he thought this is what's very strange, because she would never eat until Jayadev had eaten. But she was eating, and he said, "What has happened?" And she said, "What do you mean? You took your meal, and then you wrote something in your book, and so now I am taking." And then Jayadev said, "Show me the book." And then he saw where Krishna had written that line in the book. Then he said, "Oh, Krishna has come. Now give me some of that prasadam." There's a famous line. All the devotees can say it, but I don't remember. So anyway, that was that line when Krishna begged forgiveness from Radharani and touched her feet. And so we're in that place of Champahat, and so many, the place of the market of the champak flowers. Now the devotees are going to their next destination, which is Shishi Ritu Dweep, and within Ritu Dweep is Radhakund. There's, you see Udamanyu. This is where Radhakund is. You can't see Radhakund here, but this is the place. So I'll read a little about Ritudvip and Sri Radhakund. All glory to the moon-like Sri Chaitanya, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all the devotees. All glories to the home of Jagannath Mishra and the best of abodes, Sri Navadip. At dawn, the devotees arose and called out to Sri Gaura and Nitai Chand. Feeling great joy, Nityananda and the devotees then departed, leaving Champahata behind. From then on, Vaninath came with Nityananda. He considered, when else will I get the chance to joyfully circumambulate Mayapur with Nitai Chand and go to the home of the Lord? Eventually they came to Ratupur. Upon seeing the beauty of the town, Nityananda Prabhu said, we have come to Ritudvip, which is extremely enchanting. The trees bow their heads, the breeze blows gently, and the flowers bloom in all directions. The humming of the bees and the fragrant nectar of the flowers intoxicate the hearts of travelers. As he spoke, Nityananda Rai became almost mad and said, quickly, bring my horn. The calves have run off, and Kanai is asleep, like a child. He does not come now. Where are Subal and Sridham? I, Balaram, cannot go out to tend the cows alone. With great power, Nityananda called out, Kanai, Kanai, and jumped a couple of meters. Seeing his ecstasy, the devotees quickly submitted at his feet. O Nityananda Prabhu, your brother Gaurachandra is not here now. The Lord has taken sannyas and gone to Nilachal, leaving us destitute. Hearing this, Nityananda became dismayed. He fell to the ground and wept. What sorrow! Brother Kanai, you left us and became a sannyasi in Nilachal. I cannot continue this life. I will dive into the Jamuna. Saying this, Nityananda lost consciousness. Everyone saw the ecstasy of Nityananda and chanted the Lord's name. An hour and a half passed, but Nityananda did not get up. Finally, the devotees sang songs about Gauranga. Hearing the name of Gauranga, Nitai immediately arose and said, this is the place of Radhakund. Here, Gaurahari would perform kirtan with the devotees in the afternoon. Here, the 6 seasons meet and enhance the beauty of Gauranga's kirtan pastimes. Radhakund and Braj is present here in Ritudvip, where devotees drink and relish divine love. See also the beauty of Shamakund, which enchants the mind of every soul in this world, and the groves of the Sakis nearby. Gaura would become immersed in Sankirtan here in the afternoon and satisfy everyone with the gift of divine love. Brother, we find no place like this in the 3 worlds. Know it to be a place for the devotees to serve. Souls who reside here attain the wealth of divine love, and their hearts become serene. Remaining there for the day, calling the name of Sri Gauranga, all the devotees became immersed in divine love. They spent the day and night in Ritudvip and worshipped the moon-like Sri Chaitanya. Then, dancing as he went, Nityananda Prabhu arrived at Sri Vidyanagar. The beauty of the town attracts the minds of sages, and upon seeing it, the devotees were jubilant. So, now the devotees are here at the place of Radhakund, and now they'll take prasadam. So, this is like the morning prasad, and they'll serve out maybe some muri and some gugni, which is like dal, and sometimes they serve khichdi. Yes, but the Bengalis used to eat the muri and gugni, like, which is very nice dal, very tasty. So we would eat inside there where the gate is. The Westerners would eat in there. Okay, now we're coming to the place of Vidyanagar. Now this Vidyanagar, it says, Tolibari of Sri Gangadas Pandit, Srimad Mahaprabhu Vidya Sikshak Kandra. So Mahaprabhu, Gangadas is Mahaprabhu's teacher. And he says, and Mahaprabhu, teaching under Gangadas, began teaching, but Mahaprabhu did it in a very different way. Everything he said was related to the chanting of the holy name. So all the rules, everything was like this. And finally, some of the students were surprised by this new way of teaching. And Gangadas asked Mahaprabhu, what are you doing? You're trying to teach them in a correct way. And Mahaprabhu was teaching in this way. But some of the students were a little surprised by this way of teaching, but they were extremely attached to Mahaprabhu. Anyway, this place, Vidyanagar, is where that occurred. But also Vidyanagar has some importance in terms of the Vedas and everything, and we'll hear about that. Maybe Gorgadana. We'll see. Maybe there's something on writing on the temple. I'm trying to see. Brother. Okay. Looks like Nityananda Gornitai. Let's see. Okay. So I'll read about Vidyanagar here. Then dancing as he went, Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Sri Vidyanagar. The beauty of the town attracts the minds of sages, and upon seeing it, the devotees were jubilant. The poor Bhakti Vinod, whose true wealth is the feet of Nitai and Janava, chants the glories of Nadia. Grasping the feet of the devotees, he prays only for the wealth of devotion to Krishna. All the avatars and thousands of fortunate souls stay in one part of that lotus. In Vidyanagar, within Rituvip, let's see, I always skip the page. Hold it. The poor Bhakti Vinod, whose true wealth is the feet of Nitai and Janava, chants the glories of Nadia, grasping the feet of the devotees, prays only for the wealth of devotion to Krishna. Okay. So, Sri Vidyanagar. Let's see. Vidyanagar, 1218. All glory to Gaur Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar Shivas, and the ocean of Kirtan, Sri Navadip Dham. Coming to Vidyanagar, Nityananda Rai taught Sri Jiva the importance of the town. During the destruction of the universe, the eternal abode of Navadip remains undisturbed as an 8-petaled lotus. All the avatars and thousands of fortunate souls stay in one part of that lotus. In Vidyanagar, within Ritudvip, the Lord, as Matsya, holds all the Vedas. The Vedas, which contain all knowledge, took shelter and stayed here. They named this place Sri Vidyanagar. When Brahma desired to create the world again, he saw the full devastation and became extremely afraid. At that time, the Lord bestowed mercy upon him. He received that mercy here and then prayed to the Lord. As he opened his mouth, the extremely beautiful goddess Saraswati manifested from his tongues. Being empowered by Saraswati, four-headed Brahma prayed to Krishna and felt great satisfaction. When creation takes place, Maya remains on the bank of the Viraja River and envelops all directions within the three modes of material nature. The sages then reveal knowledge within that world manifested by Maya. They take shelter in this abode of Saraswati and conquer ignorance. They study the 64 branches of knowledge and then teach them at various places on the earth. The residences of all the sages who study each and every type of knowledge are present here eternally in Vidyanagar. Sri Valmiki came here by the grace of Narad and learned the art of poetry. Dhanvantari came here and learned Ayurveda. Vishwamitra and others learned archery. Shonaka and other sages studied Vedic mantras. The god of gods, Lord Shiva, studied Tantra. At the request of the sages, the 4 Vedas manifested from the 4 mouths of Lord Brahma. Kapila resided here and wrote about Sankhya, and Sri Gautam Rishi wrote text about logic and argument. Kanada wrote Vaisheshika, and Patanjali wrote text on yoga. Jaimini wrote text about Mimamsa, and Vedavyas wrote the Puranas and other texts. Narada and 4 other sages wrote the Pancharatras and taught souls spiritual practices. In this garden, all the Upanishads worshipped Sri Gauranga for a long time. Invisibly, Sri Gaura said to them, "The conception of formlessness has polluted your hearts. As scriptures, you will not attain me. But when you take birth as my associates in my manifest pastimes, you will see me and loudly chant my glories." Hearing this, the Upanishads became silent and secretly waited here. This glorious age of Kali, in which Sri Gauranga has descended, is the best of all ages. Hearing that, Gauranga Sundar would perform pastimes of scholarship. Brihaspati and his associates took birth. As Vasudeva Sarvabhauma, Brihaspati endeavored greatly to please Gauranga, knowing within his heart, "My Lord will perform pastimes of scholarship in Navadip and become detached." Brihaspati left the assembly of Indra and his associates. Joyfully, he and his associates took birth in various places. Brihaspati made a school in Vidyanagar and taught here as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Thinking, later I may sink into the net of knowledge and forget Gauranga, he performed a trick. Keeping his disciples in Nadia, he went elsewhere before the birth of Gaura. He thought, "If I am Gaura's servant, then my Lord will mercifully bring me to his side." Thinking that, Sarvabhauma went to Nilachala, to Puri, and propagated text of Mayavad there. Here, during his pastimes of scholarship, Gaurachandra Prabhu defeated and joked with the disciples of Sarvabhauma. Sometimes the Lord came to Vidyanagar, posed trick questions, and defeated everyone. Defeated all the teachers, and students would flee. Ignorance leaves those who hear about Gauranga's extraordinary pastimes of scholarship. Hearing this with the joy of divine love, Jiva rolled on the ground at the school in Vidyanagar, filled with divine love. At the holy feet of Nityananda, he submitted, "I have a doubt, please cut it away. Knowledge of analysis and argument are inauspicious, so how do they reside in the eternal Dham?" Hearing this, Nityananda Prabhu embraced Jiva and affectionately said, "Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nothing is inauspicious in the holy abode of the Lord. Here arguments and analysis have no power of their own. Here everything is dependent on devotion and serves devotion. As a result of their sins, the wicked think the opposite. Here the goddess of devotion is supreme, everyone is her servant, and everything reveals her. Navadip is the abode of the ninefold practice of devotion. Here action and knowledge always serve devotion. The scriptures give misconceptions to those who are averse and love for Krishna to those who are gentle." Prodamaya, servant of Gauranga, is a presiding goddess here. In every age, she stays here and serves Gauranga. Maya binds those who are very sinful and inimical to Vaishnavas and subjects them to various miseries. All sin and karma are annihilated here. In the form of knowledge, Prodamaya destroys karma. If, however, someone offends a Vaishnava, Prodamaya drives them further into the miseries of karma. Such sinners may study in Nadia, but they never attain the wealth of divine love for the feet of Krishna. They attain only ignorance of true knowledge. They attain only ignorance of true knowledge and do not see the glory of Sri Gauranga in Nadia. Thus, knowledge is not inauspicious. Its shadow, ignorance, is inauspicious. O Jiva, you will reveal all this by the mercy of Gauranga. By his desire, you will write scriptures about it. So, this is story of Vidyanagar, and this is also the birthplace of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So, here is the school of Vidyadvachaspati, the brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So then we go right behind here through some of the, going through some of the, like, jungle or forest, whatever, and right behind there on a path is the, we'll come to the place, the Gaudiya Mat Sarvabhauma of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You'll see that right now. So this is now hearing the discourses of the devotees in Vidyanagar. Krishna Mohini and Ananya Bhakti. The devotees are going to there to the Shri Shri Sarvabhauma Gaudiya Mat, birthplace of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And it's Guru Gauranga, Shri Shri Radha Sham, Shri Shri Radha Sham Sundarju. And this is the deities there in the Gaudiya Mat of you'll see. And there, so now we speak on the glories of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and tell how he came, how Mahaprabhu came to Puri, and how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very learned, and first Mahaprabhu fainted when he entered in the Jagannath temple, and they carried him to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But Mahaprabhu was 24 years old when he took sannyas, so Sarvabhauma thought he was a very young sannyasi and he would have to teach him. So other devotees who were from Nadia, from Bengal, they said, you don't know who Sarvabhauma, you don't know who Gauranga Mahaprabhu is. He doesn't need your teaching. He doesn't need you to reinitiate him into a higher sannyasa order or any of these things that you are proposing. But then they complained. They told Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu said, "No, what's wrong? He just is trying to help me." So then Mahaprabhu heard from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya for 7 days. And he didn't say a word. And on the 8th day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, I can't understand if you don't say anything. I don't know if you're understanding or not. And Mahaprabhu said, you're right, I don't understand. And he said, well, if you don't understand what I'm teaching you about the Vedanta Sutra, then why don't you ask me questions? And Mahaprabhu said, oh, but I do understand very well the Vedanta Sutra. What I don't understand are your explanations. He says, it seems like you're trying to cover the Vedanta Sutra like a cloud trying to cover the sun. And then Mahaprabhu enlightened Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and revealed his divine form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So this is a place of Sarvabhauma that happened in Puri, but this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's birthplace, you can say. And here. The nice thing is we're with so many devotees on these parikramas. now we are proceeding from Vidyanagar. We're going towards Janudweep. Let's see. So now, right before we cross and go over into Modrumadweep, there's a place where we sit, which is part of Janudweep, and we talk about the glories of Janudweep. Now let us go to the residence of Janu Muni. While speaking, they went to Jannagar and saw the beauty of the hermitage of Janu Muni. Nityananda Prabhu said, this charming abode is known as Janudweep and Bhadravan. Janu Muni performed austerities here and saw the golden form of Gora. Once when Janu Muni sat here to perform his evening meditation, his copper vessel fell into the swiftly flowing river Ganga. The copper vessel fell into the river and floated away. Janu Muni then drank all the water of the Ganga with his palm. Maharaj Bhagirath thought, where did the Ganga go? Bewildered, he began to think over the situation because he was bringing the Ganga to save his ancestors. The water would purify his ancestors. So he was bringing the Ganga down to the earth, riding in a chariot, Maharaj Bhagirath. But all of a sudden, the Ganga disappeared at the hermitage of Janu Muni. So then Bhagirath thought, where did the Ganga go? Bewildered, he began to think over the situation. Understanding that Janu Muni had drank all the water of the Ganga, Maharaj Bhagirath became concerned. Sober Maharaj Bhagirath worshipped the sage for some time, and eventually the Ganga broke out of the sage's body. Thereafter, she became known as Janavi. The whole world now calls her Janavi because she came out from the sage Janava. Some say the river came out from his ear. But like that. So we're stopping in Janudweep. And then we're going to the temple of Shanga Murari. And I always tell many stories about Shanga Murari. This is a small temple before our last stop. The very, very beautiful deities here. And Shanga Thakur, I told many times how he was living and he had deities named Gopinath. And Gopinath would complain to Shanga Thakur, you're old, and who is going to worship me when you are no longer present? I'm worried about that. So the sage told him, you don't worry. The first person I meet tomorrow, I'll make him a disciple, and then he'll take care of you. So then when he went to the Ganga to bathe, there was a dead body floating in the Ganga, and the sage Shanga Thakur brought that body to the shore and brought him back to life, and then initiated him, and his name became Murari, or Murari Chaitanya. And that Murari Chaitanya, because he was already dead, he wasn't afraid of anything. He used to play with snakes and with tigers and like that. But he served very faithfully to Shanga Thakur. And this is a temple of Shanga Thakur, and there are many, many very famous deities here. We'll see. There's Divya Shakti. We're entering into the temple of Yes. Now you'll see closer up. These. Now, the bigger deities they're Radha, Madan, Gopal, and they're worshipped by Vasudeva Datta Thakur. The smaller deities are Radha Gopinath, and they're worshipped by Shanga Murari, or Shanga Thakur. And the smallest, you can see down below, these deities are smaller deities of Radha, to the right. And their smallest are Radha Govinda, worshipped by Shivananda Sen. And then there's Gaur Gadadhar. They're worshipped by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his disciples. So this temple is maintained by the Gaudiya Math, but you can see there's some very famous deities on this altar. The deities of Vasudeva Datta Thakur, of Shanga Murari, of Shivananda Sen, of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
On a side note, this is one of Janarda Maharaj's favorite places.
Well,
It's
especially
very small, it's hard to get into because it's a very small courtyard, and he always brings lucky people there.
well, one of the reasons I developed some attachment is because it's so small they want to skip. Sometimes they want to skip going there. So, but last year I told them to go there, and they did go there. So,
Does not let that
but, it's very nice temple. Here you see. Looks like they're making a coconut offering, or a daub offering. Now we're going on to, and this must be Garuda. Now that.
Finally, a picture of me.
We saw several pictures of you last night, and could even see all your
I was on the
tattoos.
altar though, so I
Yeah,
can't see it.
well, I can't help that. There's no, that's not Bumsy. We're going to Mamgachi. This is still the temple of Shanga Thakur. Now this is the appearance place, the birthplace of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. This is birthplace of Vyasavatar Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, Mamgachi. And in the Chaitanya Charit, it is said that in the future, Vyas would come and glorify the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it is said that Vyas is Vrindavan Das Thakur, and that's how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami always identifies him. But it is also said that Krishnadas Kaviraj, he is also Veda Vyas and continues to describe the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the place, the domes. Birthplace of Vyasa Avatar, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, Mamgachi. And the deities here. And you'll see the devotees, this is our last stop of the Sri Navadip Dham Parikramas. There, and all the devotees, the devotees are present, they always want to glorify Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, the son of Narayani, and they want to speak. They speak something in glorification of Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is so worshipable, and he is very devoted follower of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And he says that if somebody, after hearing about the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, can't accept their mercy, then I kick them in the head with my left foot. So some people complained to Srila. So, some people complained about this too, especially how can he say that he'll kick somebody in the head with his left foot when Mahaprabhu is saying Trinada pi sunichena taror ida sahisnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. That one should be more tolerant than a tree, more humble than the blade of grass or straw in the street, and able to offer respect to all others without offering respect in return. So how is this tolerant? And then Srila Saraswati Thakur explained, well, he opened a new canal of mercy by, it gives the example that if a child will say something to something aggressive to someone, and then the person complains, your child, he said this. Then the parents will say, oh, but he's a very good boy. You just have to understand that he says these things because he's very strong. He has very strong beliefs about this. But, but he's very good. So that those who would never think about Nityananda Prabhu and Mahaprabhu, when they hear that, they become startled, and then they get some special mercy. So it's been explained like that. But Vrindavan Das Thakur is, of course, he's very strongly attached to the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and he describes the Leela of Nityananda Prabhu so well in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. And Srila Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj have said that the Chaitanya Bhagavat could also be called the Nityananda Bhagavat because it has so much of the pastimes of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So this is his divine birthplace, Mamgachi. And here you see the devotees will glorify him.
I'm doing you to hands.
From here, there's Rajamohini and Divya Shakti and Vishaka. Now we go to the picnic ground. There's a big kind of like a park on the other side of the road, and all the devotees go for a picnic there. Now the devotees are, after taking prasadam, they're leaving and going back to Srinavadip Dham. This is so. This is the conclusion of our Srinavadip Dham Parikrama, and today we went to Samudragar, to Champahanti, to Sri Ritudvip and Sri Radhakund, to Vidyanagar, to the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya Gaudiya Math, where his appearance place. We went to Janudweep, where Janu Rishi had swallowed the Ganga, and we went to the temple of Shangamurari, and then to Mamgachi. So this is the places of the fourth day of Parikrama, and this is the conclusion of our Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama. Now, of course, it is also the Adibas of Sri Gaur Purnima, that tomorrow we'll be celebrating Mahaprabhu's appearance. Now, somebody asked me, well, do we fast on this day? Yes, we fast on this day. It is one of the days we usually fast till the evening time when the moon appears. But Srila Govinda Maharaj would make some allowances especially for Westerners, but he would allow them, sometimes he would serve them some fruit, some boiled potatoes sometimes, some bell drink. We don't have any bell drink here.
What do you want us to serve, Maharaj? And when?
You can say serve fruit. It's basically after the devotees have fasted for a while to give them some relief. We serve them some fruit, and serve them some. Well, it's not a formal thing. It's when they want it, and you give some you give them some. What?
We have to know what we're doing.
It's being recorded, so I'll just tell you. Just calm down. You make some preparations for the devotees, and those who want to take something, they can take something. Those who want to continue fast till the evening, they can do so. But there should be some fruit. Lemonade type drink with pepper in it, sugar and pepper, lemonade drink, and like that. Some nice boiled potatoes with some seasoning on them. You can put some. But basically, you can take these things and you can take some nuts, but we're not taking grains. And the evening feast will be an Ekadasi feast. And that Ekadasi feast, we're taking after the appearance of the moon, and that can be any preparations that the cooks want to prepare for Ekadasi. Usually in the mud it's a simple thing, but simple there we don't have here so much. Simple there is like, potatoes and green papaya sabji and things like that. They serve cucumber and watermelon and fruit usually at the evening time. They serve some peanuts and like that. So I leave that to the discretion of our cooks. Sureshwari, Sanatani, and others, you're all so experienced. You've been doing this for 40-some years or whatever. So you know what needs to be done. Basically, it's Ekadasi type preparations. But it's not literally an Ekadasi because, of course, people were shaving their head on that day and shaving up. And we would normally not shave on an Ekadasi. But it is Purnima, so that's Gaur Purnima. And all the devotees, usually shave up on that day. So that's what it is. And then after the appearance of the moon, we'll sing the prayers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Leela and his appearance as it is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, I don't know if we can possibly we can shine them on this. No, we can't really shine them on the screen because the deities are open at that time. So
we should have copies over here.
Well, maybe we could have the screen, and I don't know the words on this wall, but there'll be devotees blocking the projector. So maybe I'll see if I can get some pages printed up or something
I
like that.
think we should have some in the stack over here. I'll look.
Are we still broadcasting?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't need to broadcast all that. Anyway, I'll sing Hari Haraya, but I'm very happy that I could at least virtually through the medium of a projector and images show them all the places that we're visiting on Sri Navadip Dham Parikrama. I mean, there are some devotees who never had the chance to go to Parikrama, so they didn't get to see all these places. And also I understand that now you can see these parikramas on Facebook, and you can see the whole, each day you can see the whole parikrama. So I think that's, at least I feel that I was able to accomplish something that I wanted to do, which was just like some endeavor for us to do the 4 days of parikrama. It requires some endeavor, You're walking a long way, you get up early in the morning and you're going from place to place. But it's actually very satisfying to be in the association of all the Bengali devotees. There are thousands of them, and they really enhance the whole parikrama of being with them because they're so nice. They're very sweet people, and they're always very wonderful to all of us, and they treat us so nicely. They're so happy that we've come from so far away and joined with them on Sri Navadip Parikrama. It's really very heart-touching to see their attitude. And that's the thing I most notice about Bengal. I mean, other places you can say, in the north they worship, they're Vaishnavas, they don't eat meat, they don't eat fish, they don't do this, they don't do that, they worship Radha and Krishna. That's all true. And maybe the Bengalis, many of them do eat fish or something like that. But they actually, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are Bengali, whatever they're doing, they very happily accept the Westerners as godbrothers. Whereas other places is not so. They may be Vaishnavas, they may be vegetarian, they may be this and may be that, but they're always a little reserved about Westerners. They have them moved a little bit that how can a Westerner be a Vaishnav? But in Bengal, they don't have that attitude at all. So it's, the Bengalis are very unique. And that's one of the reasons going to Sri Navadip Dham for Navadip Dham Parikrama is very nice. And I will imagine probably in the future, regardless of whatever my health is, I'll probably do that again. But, but here, this year, was some special circumstances going on. I decided to stay, and I could be with all of you. I never had the chance to be with all of you during the time of Gaur Purnima and during the parikramas. I think 2 years ago I was able to do that, but this year, I had that inspiration to be able to go show all the slides. And these slides are all, you can see many of them. There's on the Mott website. They have many of these pictures. Year by year, since 2015, they have many of these pictures, but not all, But here I've gotten from 2003 to 2017, and I have many sources and organized in a very nice way.
Maharaj, there's good footage of you on YouTube at some of the Parikrama spots with kirtan going on that, it doesn't take that much to find if you do a search, but it's nice to see.
Yeah, I imagine so, because I don't know, let's see. I was on 30 parikramas, so I should be on some footage.
Yeah.
What's that?
I remember in days like today, we were ironing hundreds of kurtas and dhoti because Acharya Maharaj gave to all the different mats and devotees, so they dress in new clothes tomorrow for Rukmini. And the ladies also, they usually have their new saris. And very special.
Yeah, I saw it, that he would always give new cloth to the sannyasis and brahmacharis, and to the ladies from Bengal. They gave them saris, and they were so thrilled to get a sari. They'd form long lines to get a sari.
And they were brave. I remember with Rayamogini ironing so many.
Okay, so we'll sing Hari Haraya.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Narada Maharaj ki
Jai.
Was very moved by that. That's Kalindi. She's always very, very touched by the activities going on in the temple, and she receives people very nicely. Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna. my appreciation for Murli Mohan Prabhu, who helped put all this together and enabled us to broadcast.
Thank you for engaging me.
Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghuna Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghuna Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. So Kel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Manrani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All glories to all the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shri Gaur Purnima Adibas Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj Ki Jai.